If I wasn't already bald, I would probably pull all my hair out just from playing this game. And as a big fan of College Football 25, I'm a little disappointed. So last year, EA returned to making college football games with their new installment to EA College Football 25. And I feel like I speak for most people when I say that even though the game wasn't perfect, it was a good base. It was a good start. It was a good game. And I believe last year's game was like one of the highest selling sports games, I don't know if ever or over the last few years, something like that. This game sold a lot. People were really excited to go back to playing college football again. So I feel like millions of people like myself, we were excited to see if they could actually keep this momentum going. Are we crazy? Was EA actually doing something right? Because the developers be on social media, they sound very passionate about these games. Could they make a change and be a new EA and make a good game again? No. EA College Football 26, when it actually works like it's supposed to, it's a good and fun game. The problem is, 9 times out of 10, it doesn't. This game has a ton of issues and it needs a title update immediately. I don't remember how long it took for them to do the title update for EA College Football 25. I don't remember how the gameplay felt at the beginning of EA College Football 25, but after all the updates, I feel like the game was in a good place overall. I'm praying that it's the same for College Football 26 because if you scrape off all the ugliness, it's a good game deep down somewhere. I do feel like they made a lot of great small improvements to this game, but for a lot of those, you can make the argument that that's something that could have been patched into last year's game and now they're being touted as these big new features. I don't want to just bash this game, so let's just talk about some of the stuff that I do like, some of the improvements that they have made. The thing that I'm really happy about, recruiting, at least for me so far, I'm playing with a smaller school right now, recruiting is really hard. And that makes me happy. I'm a hardcore Dynasty player. I like playing with smaller schools and making them into powerhouses. And right now I'm playing with Akron Zips, and recruiting is so frustrating. The thing with last year's game of recruiting, my trick was wait till like week 3 and then go look through all the recruits and you'll find those players that don't have any scholarship offers. Even if you're a 1-star school, you can usually snatch up a lot of 5- and 4-star recruits that never would have went to your school in the first place. But since the computer isn't targeting them, you can get them. In this game, you can kind of try that same strategy. It works from time to time, but not as often as it did in the first game, because I can't tell you how many times with my Akron Zips, I would have a recruit, the 5-star recruit, I would have them as my #1 option all year. And then it'll get to like week 9, week 10, and here comes Alabama, here comes Michigan, here comes Texas, and then a recruit goes to their school. It's really annoying, but it's fun. I love the addition of when you schedule a visit and the hours are based on how far the recruit is from your school. I like that. The small change of having your team needs posted on the screen that you're already on. I don't understand why that wasn't in the game last year, but I like that. I do have some issues with recruiting, but we'll talk about that later. Another thing that I like is something that they build off from last year. I thought last year's game was beautiful. This year looks even better. Even though the crowd shots from time to time, the cheerleaders, they still look a little weird. They look better than last year, but the player models, the lighting, the dynamic lighting, I think that's what it is. The presentation overall, while not perfect, I think for the most part, is still pretty good. Even though the commentary, like, I don't understand. It's like it's still like kind of delayed. Like you'll be running, you'll break open for a run, you'll be at the 10-yard line, and then Chris Fowler will be like, he's at the 20. Already past that. And again, in my Dynasty right now, I'm playing with the Akron Zips, and we actually won the national championship my second season with the team. And then during the next season, the presentation started with, the team won their first national championship last year. What do you think? Or something like that. That little touch I thought was really good. My trash quarterback in the first year I was playing, he threw like 12 interceptions or something like that. And then I remember in game, I threw my 12th interception. And then the commentator said, that's the 12th of the year. Home field advantage on this game is so frustrating, but in a good way. Like I see some people online complaining that home field advantage could be too difficult. For me, I love that, especially for me. If I have a small school and I'm going and I'm playing somebody like Alabama or I'm playing somebody like LSU, it's gonna be kind of overwhelming for the players. With the weather, it's been a lot of complaining online, and I agree 100%. In Dynasty mode, almost every single game that I play, it's raining for some reason. It was cool at first, but it's really frustrating. I mean, I do like that players are slipping on the field. I do like that passes aren't as strong, especially if you have a lot of wind going on in the game. You got players dropping passes and stuff like that. But for the love of God, this game has really good lighting. I want to see daytime games with no weather, so I can see the progressive lighting and just be in awe of how good this game looks. But this game has a lot of problems, and just so we're clear, I am not an Ultimate Team player, so nothing in this video is going to be related to Ultimate Team. This is just Dynasty and Road to Glory. Road to Glory, while it is somewhat better, still kind of boring. If this isn't a prime example of sports gaming in 2025, the entire community was saying, yo, we had high school football games 10 years ago. Can we get that in this new game? EA heard everybody and said, yeah, how can we implement high school football into Road to Glory mode? I know, let's add it and only give you 4 stupid situations that you can play in the game. Who thought that it would be a good idea to take away the ability to play full games? Like, your stats in these high school games do not matter. All you're trying to do are these stupid goals. And we already know what's going to happen. In next year's game, they're going to add the full high school games. They're going to be like, hey, look at this brand new feature. Live the true high school experience. It's like, we should have had that the first time. The teammates, as usual, as expected, are completely stupid. They highly touted oh, you get to run out on the games before the game starts. That was cool like the first time you do it, but then after a while, you start to realize this is really stupid. Dynasty mode, they did do some improvements. Like, I like the addition of the trophy room where you can see the history of all the accolades you've achieved over your career. Like I mentioned earlier, recruiting is better this year, but it still just feels like we need more. You know, like before the game came out, they were trying to hype it up like, yeah, with new recruiting, you can get into recruiting battles with you and another school once it's down to the final 2. So I was expecting, like, I don't know, like a mini, I don't want to say a mini game or nothing like that, but I just thought something special would happen when we're in like a heated recruiting battle. Unless I'm missing something, no. But the main reason I wanted to make this video was just so I can vent and I can rant to y'all, because the gameplay on this game, which, like I said, it wasn't perfect in last year's game, but it was so much fun. Like, it felt wacky, it felt collegey, it felt like college football with unpredictability. We just never know what's going to happen when something crazy happens. On this game, I feel like they took a step backwards. You cannot trust these content creators, and I've been saying this all the time, bro. These content creators are getting flown out by EA, and they're saying all these great things about the game. Do not believe them, bro. They are getting flown out by EA. They are not going to go there and get flown out and shown behind the scenes footage and stuff like that, and then get on the internet and then dump on the game. They're not going to do that because they want to go back next year. And I just don't get how you've been making football games for well over 30 years, and you can't get something down like blocking. Blocking is terrible on this game. Your players have no idea who to block. And what makes it more frustrating is when you're on defense, the computer for the offense, they actually know what to do. When they're actually running a toss play, they usually go and block the user. They go and block the other players. Your computer don't do anything. You have offensive linemen, you have running backs, you have tight ends, receivers that literally just look at the defender and let them run right by you. And I already know what some people could say, oh, well, you got to get better, bro. Like the thing last year people kept saying was, it's a skill issue. Fam, if I'm doing play action, if I'm getting sacked as soon as I do the fake, I can't do anything. On Akron right now, I have a center that's like an 89, 90 overall center. Great player. He gets abused no matter what team I play. You could have a overall 70 defensive tackle. That 70 overall defensive tackle is going to abuse him. I feel like speed doesn't really matter on this game because I've seen people online kind of saying the same thing. If you sprint behind the line of scrimmage, the game kind of breaks. Like your players, they just automatically disengage their blocks. I feel like the computer gets speed boosts so they can attack your running back even faster. Like one of the best parts about College Football 25 was like those big plays. You'll break a big run, you'll hit the outside and then run down 80 yards or something like that. On this game, I feel like those explosive plays don't really happen like that. And like the overalls for my offensive linemen that I built over my few years with Akron, they're pretty good. And it's still like, it's no point in trying to run the ball outside. Like sometimes in some games, I just give up running overall because if I try to run outside, my players are either just not going to block a person or a person is going to go run free, or I'm going to have to sprint and then they just and then the defense get an automatic sprint boost. And it's really frustrating. Like they'd be like, well, you can't sprint behind the line of scrimmage. When your players doesn't block like they're supposed to, sometimes you have to. Like when I'm playing games in the snow and I'm playing games in the rain and it's saying like 15 miles per hour wind, I can't throw the ball at all. My players are dropping passes. Overall, the drops in this game is ridiculous. I know it's college, you know, college players, woo. The computer catches everything. My players will be wide open on the drag route, wide open on the crossing route, drop. My defensive backs on this game are garbage. I have a 94 overall corner as my #1 cornerback. This man gets cooked because I can't get interceptions, bro. Like, at least on college football 25, if the ball hits you directly in your hands, most of the time you got an interception. On here, it could be right to you. Drop. I'm almost at a point when the computer throws a deep pass that I don't know if I should take over to manually control the defender, because whenever I do and I try to get an interception, the computer, the offensive player, always just jumps over me. Defenders never play the ball like I want them to. I don't know if it's just me. Maybe they've changed something, because on college football 25, I could slice and dice with a quarterback no matter their overall. On this game, maybe something's different and I just don't know. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, but I feel like every single pass I throw is either behind the receiver or it's going high for no reason. Bro, every time I throw the ball for no reason, my player will just jump up to try to make the catch when he doesn't need to, and then the animation would kick in where he gets tackled and he drops the ball. What's worse is it's the same scripted thing, because it sucks when as soon as, I'm sure y'all know what I'm talking about, as soon as you throw the ball, you know it's getting intercepted. And it's like, it's nothing you can do. And it's like, I don't know if it's just me. I haven't seen anybody else talking about this, but it's times where it's like my quarterback gets stuck in the pocket. Like, I can't move. Like, it's certain plays that I run. I have video, but it doesn't really show it on video. Like, you mainly can tell when you're playing it, but it's like my quarterback in the pocket, like, I can't move for some reason, and then usually I get sacked. And then it's been a few times where I don't know if I'm tripping, but I feel like the game has no idea where the ball is and what the actual distance to a first down should be. And I feel like I sort of have proof of this, because the commentators themselves will be wrong. And like, it'll be times where I'm on defense, the computer tries to run the ball and I'll tackle them, and it'll be like 2nd and 11, 2nd and 12, and the commentator will say he got back to the line of scrimmage, no gain. And I'm like, he lost yards. This video that you should be seeing right now, this pissed me off so much. It doesn't really impact anything, but it just, more proof that this game has no idea what's going on. So they got the ball, the computer, I'm on defense. They're on like the 20, 25 yard line or something like that. They throw the ball, they get a 9-yard gain, boom. Next play, they throw the ball, they get like a 30, 40 yard gain, something like that, boom. They're at like the 50 or 40 yard line or something like that. What does the graphic at the bottom of the screen say? 71 passing yards. This game has no idea what to do with, like, where the ball is on the actual field. Another example of this game has no idea what's going on. You should be seeing video of me playing on defense, and the computer calls a timeout without actually using a timeout. And I know what you might say, oh, it was an injury or something like that. The game doesn't specify that it was an injury. They didn't show any injured player on the screen. At the bottom, it usually say, oh, this player is being taken off. This is a team that he plays for. He's taken off the field. None of that. It just said timeout. And then the very next play, I thought I was tripping. That's why I had to screen record this. And they still had 3 timeouts. This game has no idea what's actually happening in the game. Maybe I'm trash, but I feel like when it comes to like juke moves and spin moves, at least when you're playing against a computer, it does absolutely nothing. Like, the fun of this game just isn't there. It's like the explosive plays, I guess you could say it's cool that it doesn't happen as often or something like that. But it's like, it's at points where it's like, it's no point for me to even try to run the ball. When I run outside, the defenders get a speed boost and they tackle me, or they automatically disengage their block, they tackle me. The amount of times that I've tried to run up the middle and the defender will throw my offensive lineman in my way, so the animation hits where I kind of like run into my offensive lineman, which ultimately makes me stop, and then that same defender tackles me and I lose yards. I don't know how long I've been ranting about this, but I don't want this video to be super long. But this game needs some sort of title update or something immediately, and I'm hoping that they can fix some of these issues, because it's so frustrating. Like, some of the videos that I've seen online, like, they've said like players haven't been able to kick some field goals because it's scripted that the play was supposed to get blocked. And speaking of blocked field goals, bro, this game be cheating. Bro, I was playing Michigan. I ended up winning the game off a crazy Hail Mary, by the way, which I'll show you that in a second. But I was playing Michigan and I kept trying to kick field goals. They blocked me twice. And I'm like, the first time I'm like, all right, maybe that's just a fluke. You got me. They blocked me again. And again, it's so frustrating with this game, because you can tell when something is about to happen, because this game is scripted. You can tell as soon as you hike the ball that the holder takes forever to get the ball up, and then the defender comes and blocks it. It's just so much wrong with this game. But it's like, it's times where when things work like they're actually supposed to, it's really good. Like, it feels really good when you're running a crack toss to the outside and when your players actually block the person that they're supposed to, and then you break out and you run like 50, 60, 70 yards. It feels good. It's just that it rarely happens. And I know some people are going to say, well, it's a skill issue. It's more realistic. Nothing about this game is realistic. Like, take EA's cock out of your mouth and just be able to say, yo, I want better. Like, for me, I'm an older guy. I'm 31 years old. I was born in 1994. Yes, I know I was playing the early 2000 sports games. That was the golden age of sports games. And if you're younger, I'm not even a person that's trying to be like, well, back in my day, things were better. But it's like, bro, we had so much more options back in the day. And that was like 20 years ago. Like, it's not the biggest deal in the world about like halftime shows and stuff like that. But bro, ESPN 2K5 came out in 2004. That game had a weekly wrap up and a halftime show. Like, on this game, you got a little trophy room. On ESPN 2K5, you had an entire home. You could put a pool table in your crib. You could put a movie theater in your crib. It had all the accolades and stuff that you had. That was in 2004. I just want better for this game, but there are those plays that happen where you're like, this is the type of fun that I want. Because in that same Michigan game that I was talking about where they blocked my field goal twice, the game was cheating. I threw a Hail Mary at the end of the game.
On 1st and 10 here, looking to throw the ball. Moves out of the pocket. On the move, looking deep down the right side. Touchdown, zips.
And it did kind of suck because I feel like the presentation didn't really react to it like I would have wanted them to, like to make it a really big deal. This is a huge underdog going against Michigan. I throw a Hail Mary to win the game, and the reaction was kind of like, oh, it's a touchdown. But look, I don't want this video to be too long, but thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you're new here. We talk about a bunch of different things on this channel. What are your thoughts on the game this year? For me, like, it's to me, they've taken a step back in the wrong direction, but I don't remember how 25 felt at first. I don't know if the updates made it play better later in its cycle. So maybe the updates for this game will make it better. But for me, do you have some of the same issues? I'm sure you have the rain issue in Dynasty. Blocking is terrible on this game, but there are some good and some bad with this game. So let me know what you like about this game down in the comment section below. Love you guys as always. Remember to tell somebody that you love them. Until next time, see you in the next life.